there sitting with Reza, and then he's just looking at me weird. It's my brother. He says, you know, Reza can never talk to you properly. Like he's always so sarcastic. You know, your hair looks pretty full. Like before, it was like these batches. I think like alopecia or something. What? Just compliment. This is not a compliment.
Wow, Rez, that's a good compliment.
He has to get really extreme about everything, you know. So yeah, I know that my hair is filled up nicely. Okay, someone else has had that. Yeah.
Right here.
Arthritis? Where?
My leg arthritis and swelling entirely. So I applied even yesterday, and today I'm fresh to go. So I have a stitch on my hands.
A what?
I got a stitch on my hands. The thing is, I had this crown I was grinding down, and I couldn't do it any grinding. So I just used some drops, couple of drops, and I'm feeling better.
Amazing. We're going to have one of yours out of my
I don't think I saw my story a year ago. We're driving, and then we saw three ladies chasing after a dog. You know, and so I stopped the cars because the cars were going by. This dog is terrible. So anyway, long story short, they just got from the shelter. So we had Walnut. We couldn't catch this thing. We wouldn't go away. We couldn't catch it. So we brought Walnut, and then the dog saw Walnut. He came next to him. So I went behind him, and I grabbed him. Oh man, this little thing's biting me. I had holes in my arm, and from the hold, and he's biting me. So anyway, we got them, and they were grateful, but I had holes all over my hand. And it started to swell up. My hand started to swell up. We went over that day, I just left all that, don't worry about it, just go. It's 4 hour drive. And right up back to all of it was just perfect. So who was that?
This summer, John got me to put FOL on my knee. It blew up for whatever reason. I'm a runner. I've never had any issues, but it's just ballooned. And I'm like, rubbing it on your knee. I didn't really trust it. And it was really throbbing. And within 5 minutes, the pain was gone. And we met, there's a bunch of chiropractors and massage therapists. So when we were at dinner the other night, we met a whole table from California. And I told them the story, and John had a meeting the very next day because they were like, we need that FOL.
It's use cases that matter, right? I mean, we got the brains over there for the science stuff, but it's use cases.
Just give me 1 second. Just right on 1 second. 1 second. Right now, what?
One second.
I like this uses and go to the حالي انت نظر على الصبح ساعة الصبح وانا وينا كان شدينا ايش and مساكن في عنها.
Yeah, so Ayana woke up this morning with a big, sorry, last night she told us the top of her eye was hurting so much. Yeah, she's had an amazing result with her liver. She's,
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah.
That's important.
I like it for use after sun because in California sun is very very strong. So we causing a sunburn if I forgot to put sunscreen. And after sun is actually really like immediately you can feel the result, and the next day you don't get those red and red mark and all that the skin. So it's very good protection.
Well, that was the original purpose of F1 before it became F1, right? 25 years. Treat skin, right?
Absolutely.
Who? Did you want to speak as well?
Under the camera. No.
Oh, okay. You're just recording?
Right there. For me, we have IVs that way. That's fine. Yes, Karen.
Oh, sorry. I had a basal cell carcinoma removed off my face on one side, and I had a scar 3 inches down the face. It was a very traumatic experience having that removed. And it was just when I just got my bubble wrap of FOL when they just got introduced to it, and started applying it, the scars completely gone very quickly, the pain was gone, the train tracks on the face were gone, and I started to get another spot very similar on the other side of the face. I started applying FOL, it is gone. And my sister had a cut underneath the eye, right in that very soft tissue, down the side of her face. She was traumatized. We put FOL on, And the same thing, the train tracks went, the pain went, and you can't even tell she's had a surgery. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Actually, Red, before you share the mic with someone, I don't know if you all know, about 4 years ago, I had a dog attack.
Yeah.
And I had 2 plastic surgeries. I had 32 stitches to my face. He basically nipped the corner of my eye, his canine ripped the corner of my eye, ripped my nose, all inside my mouth, above my lip. Have any of you seen any scars on my face? The scars was, I actually put FOL on it and the doctor told me stop. Because it was healing the stitches, my skin was healing so quick that the stitches were melting inside my skin. So I had to get them reopened and then heal and then start to apply FOL to actually get rid of the scars as well. Back to you.
Awesome. Okay, so before I pass the mic back,
I just heard the story that CEO shared, which is true. But hearing it from my side is like, wow, that sounds bad.
So I had a condition called frozen shoulder back in 2017. It's like a premenopausal hormonal disruption. Yeah, and it's wickedly painful. And back in 2017, this is before FOL, it took like a whole year. It was super painful. I had to do physiotherapy every morning, and it really, really hurt for a very long time, like at least 12 months to resolve this thing, right? And I did acupuncture, I did everything. And then when a couple of months ago, it started again, right? I could feel it, it's the same kind of thing. So I took some of my Fairy Sterling, and I put some drops of FOL in it, and I rubbed it for the whole day. And then the next day, I forgot about it. Like it resolved so quickly. So it's super effective when you do it topically as well. Yeah.
all right, I think we're probably ready now. One more, back to work. And
Sorry, one more. I'm gonna see if he's willing to share in the corner.
Who's that? Hey! This young man over here.
Yes. For those of you who don't know his story is quite powerful. First of all, introduce yourself, please.
Nice to see you all this morning.
Actually, this young man here has been with us how many years? That's even more important. How many years? Pardon me?
How many years? When did you launch with Untitled?
I think,
How long ago did you join us?
2017.
Holiday Inn on
Yes.
Airport Road.
Yes.
My wife and I were in the jewelry business too.
Yeah.
We wanted to meet the guru, and we did.
Yes.
2007.
Was it 2007?
Yes. So he's from like the original customer base.
So we've had a long journey of watching everything from the searchlights, from the opening of the new building to the parties,
Yes.
and the friendships are still going on.
So 15 years you've been with us. Yes. That's a, I don't know, I'll take the credit. You look younger than I met you. I'm just saying.
Do you mind sharing with us how old you are?
I'm going to be 90 in my next birthday. Of course, I have been dealing with one of the top cosmeticians to try to handle cancer recurring on my face over 10 years. He really didn't have a solution other than cut. He finally came up with a concept of using the Shoppers Drug Mart solution, which is wear a paste every day for 6 months. I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I've got another idea. I met with the team and Dr. Henry, and we had consulted to the fact that if I used the Propanol Light on the skin, as well as taking it internally, short story is, I went back to the very top dermatologist in 4.5 months. He couldn't believe where the cancer went.
Hey.
So that started the process of me remembering that I have a mission to tell people about the product. And all the good stuff we hear from David A. and the others, in the validation. Those sort of facts tell that stories sell. Use all the stories you've heard today as a third-party validation that this product works.
By the way, sharing is caring. Sometimes you just sit in the corner, and I'm so glad I saw you, because of course it's important to make sure that we share all these stories. David, of course, the stories goes on, and you know, we've put sort of the topical usage and as well as the internal usage, because we know that this is that one product that we want to be able to use, get all of you to use from head to toe, and a lot of you are already. By the way, how many of you are loving your fountain of life? Okay, another question, and where is camera? Okay, ready? How many of you have a testimonial of Fountain of Life? Everyone, right? By the way, this is me on stage. How many of you have Rizzo? What is that? I'm trying to get you to give me energy. How many of you have a Fountain of Life testimonial? Yes, that's energy. That gives me energy. Gives me goosebumps, actually. We all have testimonials. You gotta share it. Be excited. There's a lot of companies out there with products that they're promoting that does nothing. And they're just doing it for the sake of the money. But here, you have two amazing attributes. A, better health. Number one. You have your better health, that equals better health. Better health. Right? You have your health and now you have your wealth. Because the reality of it is if you're feeling good, you're wealthy. You're wealthy. You're wealthy. You're already wealthy, right? Everybody here can hear me? Yes. Everybody can see me? Yes. You're blessed. Yes. Now let's go make you some money. Yeah? All right, David, let's continue because we talked a lot about improving your health. And of course, we talked about that originally, adding it to the shampoo. We need to, of course, use it. Of course, we already have it in our skincare, which is our Fairy Flawless lineup. And we were talking a little bit about that as well. Gum inflammation. A lot of people have been reporting, when they're having inflammation in their gums or teeth or bleeding gums. Right. Are dissipating from using it. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's one of the things that is discovered with Fountain of Life, and using it for oral care. Taking some, just rubbing it on the gums is reduces inflammation, reduces the problems, reduces toothaches, mind you, when you have that issue. But it's very important. It's part of oral care. It's reducing the amount of inflammation, the bacteria in your mouth. Our mouths are filled with bacteria. That's why I found life is important. This is why our Fairy Microsilver toothpaste is really important, to reduce the bacteria that's causing so many issues. And if you have any dental issues, I would prompt you to try that, to try and reduce that.
Absolutely. Now, another one as well that we've talked about that's become quite popular is basically using it under your arms as a deodorant. So how many of you are using it as a deodorant? How many of you have never tried it? Okay, so first of all, antiperspirants are not good for you, but for some people who sweat quite a bit and perspirate, they do use antiperspirants. Give it a try. Give it a try to use, the big one is
Okay, I don't think you understand. That is the absolute best antiperspirant and whatever deodorants you could ever find. So next week, what we're gonna do, this is coming, by the way. We're going to run campaigns. So pay attention now. Because what do they do in medical? They get trials, right? They do trials, clinical trials.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, guess what? We have our own community to do that. And what we need to do, take our own product and say, okay, this month, everybody, here's what's going to happen. You use FOL as your deodorant only. You give us a 30-day report. How many hours it lasted for you. At the end of it, we'll give you free bottles, cost you nothing, right? And now we have results. Because I can tell you, people who use Sterling, for example, Sterling is amazing. Or use your FOL as your shaving cream, aftershave, for example. 30 days, give us the report, we give you a free bottle. So I want you guys to know the different use cases these products have. And deodorant, I'm telling you, the hot, warm climates, If you haven't tried that, just 3-4 drops of it. You know. And I'll tell you, it lasts, if you're an average person, it lasts you about 36 hours to 48 hours. Because it sticks to, here's what happens. Antibacterials, the reason why you have to reapply is because it washes off. That's why you have to reapply. The composition of FOL gets right on your skin and stays there. And that's why you don't need to reapply it over and over and over again like deodorant. So that's one of the things that you guys need to try, and we do trials on it. I'm going to see all your stories.
Okay, so when it comes to the deodorant, like our CEO was talking about, this is one of those products, by the way, if you're ever on the road, like if you're traveling, you're at a hotel, you're moving around, it's fantastic to not only use to swish inside your gums for gum health, it's fantastic as a deodorant as well, but it also, as you all heard from many of you, cuts, wounds, burns, by the way. So we actually have, how many of you saw Maria at our promo desk outside? Yes! She's amazing, right? By the way, put your hands together for our amazing promo team outside that have been working so hard. That applause is for Maria, Sandeep, Daljit, Susan that are working so hard. Khadija, that are outside. Thank you, team, for all your hard work. Now, Maria, she loves to cook. She's a mean cook. So one of the days that she was cooking, I remember she came into the office and she had all these spots all over her face, all over her neck, all over her hands. And I share this testimony everywhere I go. For those of you who cook, know that if you put wet fish in frying oil, what happens? Well, everybody knows. We got lots of cooks in the room. I never knew that. She had to explain it because I don't cook fish like that. Anyways, the fish was too wet. She threw it in oil and the oil splattered everywhere. Her face, her arms, her neck, and it burnt her quite bad. So she said, the first thing that I did is I just took FOL and I just literally was splashing it all over my face. Not one blister happened to her face. Really? Not one blister happened to her skin. Not one blister. Most importantly, she has 0 marks from the burn. MashaAllah. 0 burns. Yeah, mashallah for sure. Like 0. And that's the power of a product that you have at your fingertips to be able to, getting foot fungus, they're getting relief from it, fungus on the nails as well. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we're talking about a product that's going to be antifungal. That's what was your fur for this. For dandruff, it is a fungus that affects us. So in terms of its impact on nail fungus, they have a lot of anecdotal evidence that it does improve that condition. So yes, for wounds, the reason it works on wounds really effectively is because it helps the collagen in our skin. And that's why it works really well. Even on burns, it really works really well. It helps improve it. And that's why it works on scars. You know, for scar tissue, like if you have a scar, the usual methodology of taking care of that is putting a silicone pad on there, if it's 5 years or less. So if you have an old, 5-year scar, you can put it on there, and what it's doing, it realigns the collagen matrix in the skin. They don't know how that works, that's all I know. But the thing is, though, that they discovered that fountain of life on scars will help that improve. And that's why you start seeing, if you have a long-term scar, put it on, and it will start changing it, because the collagen reformation in the skin is really important, and it's really part of the properties of what ligaments will do. As far as things like, irritations, wounds, just reducing the bacterial count that causes those issues. It's also helping that improve the look of the skin all the time. So, yeah, very important topically.
Very, very much so. And also for your cuticle health, by the way. So one of the regimens that I have is once I get out of the shower, I wash my hair with the shampoo conditioner. I use the Sterling lotion to be able to, of course, lotion the body. Then I use a little bit of FOL actually to put it on my cuticles. Just like a little dab that I use 1 drop, just tap, tap, tap. Massage it into your cuticle nails as well as your feet. By the way, one of the things that I would highly recommend before you go to sleep every night, take some sterling and put it at the bottom of your feet before you go to bed. It will make your feet like a baby's bottom. It is absolutely phenomenal. Next one I want to talk about, David, is hemorrhoids. So hemorrhoids are what a lot of people suffer from, and I mean, they suffer in pain. A lot of women that as well, just go through the birth. They don't want to use any chemicals. They're taking care of their wounds. And what they're finding is that by applying the Fountain of Life, it's helping reduce the inflammation and help with hemorrhoid pain as well.
Yeah, do we understand what hemorrhoids are? It's a collection of blood vessels. There's internal, external, of course, we see it externally. And so what we're talking about is reducing inflammation of those blood vessels that are collected around there. And yes, a lot of women from childbirth do have hemorrhoids. You can place some FOL on it, just dab it on gently. Don't try and put it on a swab and place it on. Don't try and guide it with the dropper. It'll be easier than hygienic. I'm telling you this because people are writing to me these things, right? They're asking the strangest questions at times. I don't pass it over to Sanaz, but I just don't pass it on to you. I can't imagine what they're trying to do. I mean, seriously, you have to be contortionist.
For those of you that have known David, this was not the David that we met. Opulence ruined him.
I get some of the wildest questions you'll ever hear.
By the way, in my household, we have a Fountain of Life in every bathroom, but one of the things that we have is we have a topical one and we have an oral one. The oral ones are the ones that we use, but the topical one is the one that we're using on our skin, the one that we're using on our toenails, and so on and so forth. If someone ever comes over and they have a cut, burn, if they get a mosquito bite, we use it. So it's always recommended for everyone to have one that's a topical one inside the household, and maybe just put a mark on it or tear a little bit of the label just so that you know what it is. And honestly, by having one in right on hand to be able to share and to do a lot with, this nine guys are laughing because they're talking about the pipettes and what David is talking about as well. But at least it gave you a little bit of a laugh, right? So it's really, really important. I want to talk last one, and then I want to do a Q&A session as well. I want to talk quickly just about inflammation in the knees. I know you were supposed to have knee surgery, but you've been able to get some phenomenal results from using it both topically and as well as orally.
Yes, because when I was young, I did a lot of stupid things, and I broke my leg badly, and then I've hurt myself many times. I hate to go through the litany of things, but the bottom line is I developed arthritis at a young age, and knees don't last forever. Knee replacements don't last forever. So the orthopedic surgeon says, you just have to grin and bear it. I said, is there anything I can take? He said, no. That's my orthopedic surgeon. Top level guy said, no. He said, you just have to learn to live with it. And I thought, well, I don't want to take analgesics. I'm not into that. I don't want to take anti-inflammatory. So I just live with it. And when I started working with opulence, I get a condoms. It was on the second floor, and I thought, I have to have an elevator. And they don't. So what happened is, it was, some days it was difficult. Some days I was, like I told Sanaz, I'm moving like a tin man. It was, you feel your knee just being sort of squeaky. And the thing is, I was taking Fountain of Life, and I did the extract. But I was only taking 10 drops a day at that point. And I didn't realize at that point, the studies weren't out, and then I discovered that, oh no, I should be taking 30. And as soon as I hit the 30 mark, it changed my life. And then I went back to the doctors, and I was being checked, and they said, well, you don't need to anymore, which is great. But I could go back to things I wanted to do. I could go back to skiing. I could go back to doing nothing without sitting there in pain, and I don't have to worry about walking upstairs. And so I thought this is what I was looking for in terms of quality of life and the improvement thereof. And so I was really pleased that this came on, and that Opulence decided, and this is foresight, like Dr. Allness, just so you know, that he tried for years. He's had this for years. He's taken this around the world, the same extract, in many people, in many countries. He's displayed it multiple times, and asked companies, are you interested? And they all said no. They didn't want to venture that way. So you got to thank Opulence for being a Sanaz. It's a major step forward in our health that we have access to this. And we can decide whether to use it or not, use it properly or not, but if it's in our lives, we have that tool to make our lives better. So I think we should use it. And that's what I tell people, why not?
Absolutely. All right, here's what I'm going to close with, and if you do have some questions, we're here to answer any questions that you have. So one thing I want to reiterate as well, you've also heard a lot about the amazing things that Fountain of Life does. Some people have asked me in the past, is it possible for me to have an allergic reaction to Fountain of Life if I apply it topically? And the answer is absolutely. There is going to be, that very, very small percentage in the world that is going to, of course, we have a money-back guarantee when it comes to the Fountain of Life policy, so that, protects you as someone who's reselling the product, number one. Number two, this is an incredible product that we always recommend for someone both topically, internally, and externally to do a patch test. And David, from what you've always taught me, you always say do your patch test right here. So this is an area where you could rub it into, which is in your forearm, and it will be able to see. If you start to see you're getting little bumps and you're getting any sort of allergic reactions, then basically make sure you understand that. The other part of it is it could be that you take it internally and you're not allergic, but you use it topically and you're allergic.
Well, it's not being really allergic, at that point, because we got to understand that Fountain of Life is very powerful. People think, oh, it's just a little bottle, it's just a liquid, it's not going to harm. Yeah, for the majority of people it doesn't affect us, but sometimes we're hypersensitive. And it's a very, very powerful product. And so it can cause an irritation, that can cause some redness. You take it internally? No, nothing. And then all of a sudden you put it on your skin or something. That's why we use 5%. 5% is the optimal level for Fountain of Life.
Right. Okay, so you got to basically utilize it just to see what the right amount is as well for you. Okay, so just want to finalize our sort of training with all of you. What we want to do is we want to open it up for some Q&As, and then once we're done, we're going to be breaking for lunch. And in the meantime, we're also going to have our camera that's going to do some testimonials outside though. So if you do have a testimonial, we want to compile some amazing footage. You get a chance to be in some corporate videos and get a chance to be a part of an amazing event. And it's about those testimonials. You've all seen, we make some crazy videos, yes? So you have an opportunity to be a part of it. And of course, we want to hear from all of you for your feedback. So let's go into Q&As. We want to stay on time. We have a jam-packed afternoon with our amazing scientific team, Alan and Jack. Phytoclinical, we'll be talking about that. We'll be launching it as well, training you and just taking your mind to the next level. So first question, if you can just stand up if you have a question so I know where you are, please. Hello.
My question is about allergies. So let's say someone tried it on his skin and had allergy, but they would like to take it. So would we recommend maybe to take one drop and kind of see the reaction with the body, or kind of start slowly and build it up, or don't take it all?
If they have an allergic reaction, I wouldn't recommend taking it at all.
I want to know, what was their allergic, how did they know they were allergic to it?
It broke in an
Oh, okay, so
I wouldn't take it at all. You do not want to promote the chance of anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is a very serious reaction that could cause, believe it or not, a person can die from that. So, no. If they have an allergic reaction on the skin, please do not promote that. We don't say let's try a couple of drops, see what goes on, because their throats can close. There could be all sorts of things, can get swelling. You won't know what to do. You need adrenaline to look after that. Really quick. You don't have time. So the answer is no. Okay? Don't waste your life that much.
Thank you. We do have this young lady who's allergic to it topically, but she's about to get the mic. She's actually allergic to it topically, but she takes it internally. The reverse.
Hello everyone, my name is Naima, and Sanas knows because I shared that with her, but the question I have today is not about that. I love my Fountain of Life. I have been using it for 2 years. So I went from almost 200 pounds to now. Yeah, and when I share with people, they don't believe that. They're like, well, think Fountain of Life, how do you lose weight? So I would like to know that, analogy and how it helps lose weight.
Amazing question, thank you.
Well, the studies have shown that the 7-HMR lignin does a lot in terms of reducing inflammation in the body. Reduces, you understand, number one, that it is impacting the inflammation, reducing insulin resistance, so our blood sugars are much more efficient, reducing fatty deposits on the liver. It is also reducing visceral fat around our body.
Sorry, can I ask you what that is? Because I had to actually learn the difference between body fat and
Well, visceral fat is all over ourselves, right?
It's the jiggly stuff.
It's the jiggly stuff. It's
The
not nice to
jiggly
get rid of. But you know, the thing is that the byproduct, okay, this is not a weight loss product, let's remember that. So let's not look at it as weight loss. But the byproduct of using this, and the other thing that happens, people start feeling better, looking better, and they change their lifestyle. So there's all that psychological impact that goes along with it. But at the end of the day, they will lose weight as a result of all these things. You say, well, I got a weight loss product. You know, you got a person that's taking 30, 40 drops a day and then downing 3 pizzas. You know, I think I can't. That has happened. I work in bariatrics. Bariatrics when you do stomach stapling, and you know we were doing the Mason technique. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, so what happened is that there's a lot of women mainly that would do this, and then they start gaining weight, and then we have to think of the lifestyle. They didn't change their lifestyle, and what they're doing instead of eating a lot, they're drinking milkshakes all day.
So let me ask you a question though about that, because when Dr. Alnez trained us a little while ago at the last conference, he was talking about that when you're taking the fountain of life, it helps with your enterolactone. Am I saying that word properly?
Enterolactone.
Enterolactone. And based on the enterolactone, it basically helps when it comes to losing weight.
Well, enterolactone is a mammalian lignin in our system. Now, what's happening is that the lignin, we're taking in plant lignins from fountain of life.
Right.
It's converted in our system to a mammalian lignin, which is called enterolactone. Enterolactone is a very powerful antioxidant that goes through our system. It reduces, you know, all the issues of oxidative stress, all these things. That's why it's so important. And byproduct from all this is that we will lose weight if you're using this on a regular basis and you change your lives. So
There we go.
please just understand that. Okay?
Yeah, so
It's
basically
regards to
don't
weight
think
loss.
you can take 50 drops and then go eat 3 pizzas and lose weight.
No.
Yeah,
I had a friend who was drinking beer like mad, and he says, I got a sensitive stomach. And I said, well, what about the 2 cases of beer you're drinking a day? And then he decided maybe that was the problem. So, you know, you gotta look at it.
So with regards to weight loss, a couple of things here on that. When we first came out 2018, we both dropped, why we're dropping weight. That's not why we took it for. We took it for different reasons. And everybody was telling us, well, you guys are trimming down a lot. If you guys saw my picture, it's another picture.
Hey. Mister.
I come across those pictures once in a while, but not seriously, like it was.
Actually, Callie is one of those people too. I don't know where she is. I saw her in the room. She lost quite a bit of weight.
So in any event, so I asked Dr. Alnez a side question because when I looked at it for initially, it wasn't for weight loss. And what he said was, well, a couple of things he said. One he said was, it's not really a weight loss product. At the time, he hadn't done any studies. It's not really a weight loss product. However, it solves the problem that causes weight gain. It's like thyroid, those things. So you fix those problems, then you don't gain weight, what caused it to begin with. But, it was 2 years ago, 2 years ago, when he came to study my office, show some secret videos, right? Now, he did share with you guys, well, not you guys, with the team, kind of, it's code. They took a couple of mice, they did a clinical trial, remember that? With the graphs, they showed us. Do you remember what that test was, where the mice were dropping weight like crazy, and it was because of lignins?
It was because of specifically the lignin in fountain of life. The 7-HMR lignin was the one they attributed to the weight loss in mice.
Because some people had to make fat drops that causes you to. We have to go back to that video because I actually videoed that whole session. And he did show all the graph tests and clinical tests where it was see 30 days, 60 days, when you take F4, what happens next 24 hours.
We actually have a chart for that. The studies are also found in our back office. We do have that for those of you who want to refer back to it as well. And the last time that Dr. Allen was actually here in Canada, he's shared that research and those and that as well.
So don't sell it as a weight loss product, but we hear a lot that people say, hey, you know what, I'm feeling healthy, I'm trimming down. So.
Absolutely. All right, we have another question right here, and then we'll go over there. Yes.
My name is Sadia. I'm from Ohio.
Welcome. How many hours did it take for you to drive down here?
8, 9 hours. It's
8,
supposed to
9?
be 6 hours, but 9 hours. Basically.
9 hours. Congratulations. Welcome.
So my question is, I have a migraine. I've been using for Front of Life for 8 months now. I had the migraine since I was 16 years old. I used to go to emergency like twice a month to get like some kind of drugs or whatever they do. So, alhamdulillah, it's helping, mashallah. And so my aunt, she has migraine. She have diabetes. She have high cholesterol is high. She have a seizure. So I shared with her. So but she afraid to take it with. She's taking all those medications. So how can she take it? So like, can she take it before or after? I have no idea.
She has to have a discussion with the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And what she has to ask is, are there any dietary restrictions do I have? She's going to ask him or her, you know, is there any reason I can't, are there any antioxidants I can't take? Can I take flaxseed? That's the one that doctors all understand. Is if I add flaxseed into my diet, is that okay? I heard flaxseed is good for me. If the doctor says, yeah, there's no problem, it's not going to have any interaction with anything you're taking, then go ahead and take Fountain of Life. Fountain of Life does exactly the same thing as flaxseed does, except more powerful and more efficiently. Flaxseed sometimes does not work in our bodies, so, and I'm not going to get into why, but it's not as efficiently used or utilized in our bodies. The bioavailability of flaxseed is lower than Fountain of Life. So just ask them that. When to take it? Well, I would take it first thing in the morning. That's what I do before I take anything.
Yeah, she have a migraine, same as me, like next level. So that's why I share with her, and so she have a seizure, she have a diabetes, all kinds of. She take like almost like 20 medications, different medications.
Well, you got to find out from the doctor if any foods react with that. If they say, well, yeah, you can't take antioxidants, or say, well, I don't recommend flaxseed, because sometimes flaxseed does interact with certain medications. You want to make sure of that. And that's your safest bet, just to make sure at any time, if a person says, well, I've got a whole page of medications, just ask the doctor, are any of these reactive to flaxseed? Just ask them that. They'll understand right away. Just say, I want to add that to my diet. And so if they say no, go ahead with Fountain of Life. You get more benefit from Fountain of Life than anything that flaxseed can ever offer.
Make sure they understand it's a plant antioxidant. And this is for you, my dear. Come on up and grab this. We're driving down for 9 hours. It's a little treat from Canada. Welcome. You can make some notes while you're here. All right, one more question, and then we are going to break for lunch, and we're going to. Ivy, is our lunch ready to go? Perfect. Go ahead.
Hi. I'm going to ask a
Sorry, your name, where are you from?
Opa Hote. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I'm going to ask a question. I know the answer, but coming from me, it's just a layman. Coming from you, it's much more authoritative. It's the argument that I'm having with holistic nutritionists that are stating supplements is a waste of money, whole food, plant-based is where you're going to get all of the nutrients from. I have a list of the reasons why that is not 100% accurate, because Sinaz, you talked about pollution everywhere, our soil, our water, everything. So I know what the answer is, but I would like for you to, pretend I am the holistic practitioner that is saying to someone, don't get FOL, it's a waste of money, it's supplements, all you need is a rich, whole food, plant-based, organic diet. Would address everything. What would you say to that? And before you answer, I want to do your answer on my IG Live, is that okay?
Mine answer? Sure.
Okay, so just
don't call my name.
No.
By the way, everything that we share, we're here on is live.
Let me start outside, I was going to say later on, but it came up, the question came up. I'm very fortunate, my home, across of it is an apple orchard. It's relevant. So, I was talking to the owner last week, he passed by my house, and, you know Alan's apple juice? Well, that's him, he's a billionaire. You know, he has this big mansion, and anyway. So he came by, I was doing some stuff in the house, he complimented it, he emailed me, and talking to him. So I said, listen, Kirk, your apples, I don't buy them because, I mean, he's across the street, he said, this will take it. But he said, but people tell me in Ottawa that it's doubled, even from $3.99 a bag to over $8 a bag, and he's explaining it wasn't him. He's cost only 10%. It's the stores doing that. The question is this. A bag of apple is $9. And that's got about 10 apples in it or whatever. So part of the reason why you should take it for, because 10 drops, which is $2.50, equals how many apples? 1,800 apples. Cost alone is the reason why you should take this. I don't know how many people can eat 10 apples. I mean, it's good. That's vibrant stuff. But really, some people like apples, fine. You're not going to eat 10 of them a day. And some people will take it because it's good to take. One apple a day, doctor, good. So, right? So, the number one reason why you should take it for is economics. How about that? Yeah!
Is it okay for you? Okay. You know, if we're taking a look at nutrition itself, and I think it's a really good point to have, but let's go back to Yale University. Okay, it's not me making this statement, it's what the real Yale University researchers are saying, is that we need to augment our diets. We are not getting enough foodstuffs in our diets right now. We know that. The average person in the world is getting 1 milligram of lignans a day. That is not us making that statement, it's not an opulence global statement, it's a scientific fact. What do we need? We need 50 to 100 times that amount. And we do know, we're talking about lignans, okay, not just antioxidants, but lignans in our diet. And so we have to understand that if we cannot get it from our foodstuffs, if we take a look at how much, and we've got that chart, Ramin just made that reference of how many apples we'd have to take each day, eat each day to get the lignin count that we require. And then we're talking about 10 drops. We're not talking about 30 drops. So let's take a look at exactly what we have to take, and it's unreasonable and unmanageable.
Exactly the right word.
So we have to take in a product that's going to give us the lignin count that we need. I don't look at Fountain of Life as a supplement. And I look at Fountain of Life as a food source that I need. And the worst thing that I've ever seen is people say, well, you're taking a supplement. I go, no, it's not a supplement, it's a food source.
That's right.
It's a food source for lignans that you can't get anywhere else. And they say, well, I can get it from flaxseed. I said, no, you can't get the same levels of that. And I'll go down that pathway. And the reason you can't get the same amount is acetoisolarisuresinol diglucoside needs to be cleaved at the small intestine. At the very end, and I've explained that to them, they look at me like I've got a third eye, but I said, I've explained that, and it has to be cleaved before it can be absorbed, and when it's converted by the bacteria, if it is cleaved. If it's not cleaved, it just goes right out into our waste. But if it is cleaved, what happens is it's converted to enterodiol, then it's converted to enterolactone in our system, which is the end game. So it's that very powerful antioxidant. But without that, it doesn't happen. So, Fountain of Life, we can take it sublingually. You can't do that with flaxseed. You can't take it with, you can't do any other food sources sublingually. We have to take it. We have to ingest it. So with Fountain of Life, we're going to do it sublingually, or we can drink it, and it's converted to enterolactone, which is that powerful antioxidant. There is no food out there that does that. Absolutely. And you got to treat Fountain of Life as a food. Not a supplement. Don't say I got this new supplement. Don't say I got a new food. And that'll make a difference in the way that you approach it. What these holistic nutritionists just explained, that the statement is from Yale. This is not a statement from statement from Yale University. They can't be arguing against these guys that are actually high-level nutritionists and researchers, and that's what they're doing all day.
So that's the science behind it. But the other part of it is the cost. If you really think about what our CEO talked about, the 1,800 apples, or if you talk about, we all know that inflation is at the highest, right? We've all seen food costs go up. So the reality of it is that food is becoming more expensive. So how many apples a day can you eat? How much bowls of vegetables can you eat? How much cauliflower and broccoli could you possibly eat? I talked about good nutrition is a part of what we need every single day. No doubt, we talked about this. You're not gonna go take your Fountain of Life or your supplements and then go and drink, a 2-4 of beer and then have your pizza. It's gotta be a combination. We talked about adding, bowls of cereal to your diet. We talked about adding bowls of salad to your diet because you actually need all of those attributes. You need a good, healthy diet to become healthy. What you look like on the outside is what's happening to you on the inside. That happens with water, that happens with food, that happens with supplementing, that happens with incredible products like Fountain of Life and Phytoclinical that's about to hit the shelves. That's what we're doing at Opulence Global. We're looking at third-party research like Yale to bring you incredible research, to bring you incredible products, to bring you revolutionary ingredients that are going to change you inside and out, ladies and gentlemen. Ivy's putting her hand up. Hello, Zoom. We haven't forgotten about you.
One question on Zoom.
Yes.
The last question. Does FOL help with mold in the body?
Mold. Mold in the body?
On the body.
On the body. Mold. I think it's, okay.
I haven't seen a study on that, that's the only problem. That's sort of unique, I can't answer that, I have to ask the doctor about that.
I'll talk to Dr. Allen.
Theoretically it would. Theoretically it would, but it would work better if it's on the skin. I would use steroids.